You may not know this, but there does exist the perfect number of clients. And I'm going to show you how many clients you actually need to get the money you want, the freedom you want, and the business you want. I've helped a ton of individuals and companies get clients over the last 8 years, from cake shops to art galleries to fat loss coaches. And when I first stumbled into consulting, there was this big push for expert businesses, coaches, consultants, to be aiming for like 30K, 50K, 100K plus months. Basically, the attitude back then was, how fast can we scale this business? It was pretty toxic behavior, and the kind of people that it attracted were frankly quite terrible. And I remember being asked by one of my coaches at the time, and he said, Pat, you don't really mind. You're not interested in shooting for these big numbers. And it's true, I wasn't. I'd run bigger businesses and I knew what came along with it. He told me that he learned something from that. And I, in turn, learned something from that too. Because I realized that it was okay to not try and grow as big as possible, as fast as possible, but instead go after what worked for me. And at that time, I just moved to New York City and I was just focused on keeping my freedom. My previous business was bigger, it had many moving parts, and I didn't want that anymore. I just wanted to do some marketing consulting. Now, because I wasn't hell-bent on scaling, different doors opened up, different opportunities, met some great people, had some amazing experiences, and I learned a lot. Meanwhile, many of my peers who went the scale as fast as possible route, they just ended up with more stress, more fires to fight, and less profit at the end of the day. So let's take a look at how many clients you need. And for some people, this is quite eye-opening. We're going to start to do something a little different. Instead of optimizing for the most amount of money, we're going to optimize for the perfect business for you. We start there. If we need to adjust it later, it's easy to do so. But by starting here, we make sure we don't fall into this trap where we just chase more and more and more, and instead build something that we're actually going to really love. So first thing, I want you to look at how much time you want to actually spend with clients. So think about how many Zoom calls that you want to have in a day. If say 3 Zoom calls is enough to give you energy but not become a drag, then how many days a week would you like to do that? And if the answer is 3 days a week, then you're looking at a total of 9 sessions. To me, that sounds very reasonable, very manageable. Let's keep it simple. I'm not going to include group programs or anything else like that. If you work with your clients one-to-one and you meet weekly, now we can work out how much revenue that's going to generate. So let's assume your core service costs $5,800 and it goes for 3 months. We've just worked out that your client roster fits 9 people. 5,800 times 9, that's just a little bit over $5,200. So that's just over $200K in a year, or about $17K a month. Now ask yourself, how do you feel about that number? Is that good? Does it meet your needs? Could you do with less if it meant more time freedom? Or do you want more money? Could you change what you charge? Could you adjust the length of time you work with people? Many of my clients often find that their 6-month program can just as easily be done in 4 months, or that their pricing needs updating. Play with the numbers until you find the right balance. Play with the numbers until you can feel that excitement growing. Right, so in our example, that means you're gonna need 3 new clients a month. But does it really though? You see, when you start getting results for people, some people will want to keep working with you. They're not going to want to stop. So these are your back-end offers, and some of these people will want to work with you for years. So that new client each month number goes to maybe 2 or maybe even 1. So do your thinking, do your calculations. Imagine what it will be like working with how many people per week, and then you've got your number. And now that you have that number, you realize it's not so overwhelming building the kind of perfect business that gives you what you want. Maybe the example that we work through here, maybe that's your situation. And if you realize you only need to get 1 or maybe 2 new clients a month to get the business that you want, then how would your marketing look different? What different things would you want to communicate to your market if you realize you don't need to go for everybody anymore? You don't need 5, 10, 20 new clients every month. You only need like 1 or maybe 2 to build the kind of business that you really want. Then what do those ideal clients really look like? If you're not getting the Coach Marketing Sucks newsletter, you'll find the link below. Otherwise, this next video is about what I learned selling expensive things to the affluent. I'll see you in the next video.